Hello everybody, this is Anita, your financial psychologist, and I have a project that I'm working on and I need your help with it. I am doing a research project with 100 women. I'd like to have 100 women to come and do this research. It is part of my my program that I'm working on in my dissertation, and I need 100 women, whatever culture that you're in. I need those women to come and to be part of the research. And let me tell you tell me a little bit about my research and tell you why I'm doing this research. The research that I'm doing has to do with the financial behaviors of women in different cultures. So I'll be examining African Americans, Caucasians, Asians, Hispanics, all of those. I'll be examining their behavior, their financial behavior, and how they feel and think about finances. So I'm a financial psychologist. I'm, going into psychology, and I've already got lots of credentials in finance, but I'm going into financial psychology. And the purpose of this research is not only to find out about their financial habits and how they feel about it, but to figure out where they got these habits from. Say, for instance, we all say that most women earn 80%, 80 cents on the dollar of what a man, but that happen to be Caucasian women. When it comes to African American women, they are like 67, and I believe Hispanics are like 65%. And if you look at that, look at just that, and if you look at the way each culture spends their money on what they spend their money on, there are some cultural differences, and also in their net worth. For instance, it is said that a single African American woman who's single, her net worth is worth $5, and a single Caucasian woman is $40,000 and some change. So my research is to know why that is. What kind of behaviors? Does it come from redlining? Does it come from Jim Crow? Does it come from slavery? What does it come from? Where does that come from for African American women? Where does it come from for Caucasians? Why is their net worth higher? Why is it that Hispanic women earn 65 cents? Is it because of the low-paying jobs, or is it because they don't want to go any further? I'm not saying that they don't. I just want to find out about the research. And let me tell you how I got into this. When I first started my business in 1998, I was an accountant, tax person. I did over 300-400 tax returns per year. I had basically two practices, one in Stockton and one here in the Sacramento, and then I was a manager for a Jackson Hewitt. So I did lots and lots of tax returns, and I did lots and lots of bookkeeping and accounting for small businesses as well. But a lot of times women would come to me when they did their tax returns and they were making really good money, and they were like, so am I going to get a return back? Am I going to get some money back? What's going to happen? And a lot of times they weren't prepared for retirement. And then when I started my radio show, I started actually interviewing women who were earning good money, and this is on both sides. Basically earning six figures, not the bottom of the six figures, but in the middle, 250, 275, and they didn't have money saved for their kids' retirements. They were single women, and they didn't have money for their retirement. They also didn't have money for their children who were going to college, say the following year. There was one woman, she was actually she was like a colleague of mine, and I interviewed her, and she just did not have any money, and her daughter was going to college the following year. She hadn't saved up anything. And I just was like, well, what's going on with that? But there was two heartbreaking stories that really got to me, and I wanted to know why. There was a woman before I even started, when I went back to get my master's in taxation. I thought I was going to go to law school and do a lot of tax, tax litigation. I started to work towards that. And so I went back to school for my master's in taxes. But when when these heartbreaking stories, I mean, I have a bunch of them, but these are the two most significant ones that really made me stop and think about what is it that I really should be doing. This one woman, and this happened to be in the first part of the 2000s, maybe 2005, 2006. She was a woman about 40 years old, and her husband had died, and she was a referral from one of my financial planner people who I had been working with. And she was a referral, and we needed to do the death tax. So she came in to do the death tax, and what happened with that was I said, okay, I need such and such papers. I need this paper. I need that paper. Can you bring that in with the next, I gave her a list of things to do. Can you bring that in with when you come in the next time? And she said to me, what does it look like? I said, what does what look like? She's like, oh, I don't know any of this. She didn't know what the W-4, W-2, she didn't know what the 1099, she didn't know any of those. She didn't know what the tax return looked like. She didn't even know what the previous year's tax return looked like. And I was just like, really, you don't know what it looked like? You've been married to your husband so many years. Now that he's dead, you really have to learn how to do these things. She said, he would put the papers in front of me and I would sign them. So I don't know anything. And so I actually had to print what the tax return looked like. I had to print some of the forms that she needed to bring to me. I had to print those so that she could see what they look like, and she could bring those to me. And I was really heartbroken by that, because here's a woman of 40 years and 40 or some years, and now her husband has died, and she really has no clue. And the second thing that was kind of heartbreaking, was really heartbreaking to me, was an older woman who had been married. I think she may have been married about 50 to 60 years from her husband, and he decided that he wanted a divorce. And this is a woman who had been a housewife all those years. Their kids were grown, they had grandchildren together, and she had been a housewife. She had never worked, outside the home. And through the divorce settlement, she got a check for about $50,000. And this is what she had to live off of. And that happened around the same time the other woman came to me and her husband was dead. And she had a $50,000 check, and she had a home. And first of all, $50,000 was a lot to her. And I don't know how much longer she had to live. I don't know anything like that. But $50,000 after being married to somebody for 50 years and you have grandchildren together did not seem like a lot of money to me. And that's all she had. She didn't have anything else. Now, she probably could be able to get some of his Social Security or something to that effect, or something in that. But here's was a check from his retirement plan of $50,000. And so that was a really devastating thing to me. And it got me to thinking of what I'm supposed to do. What I really was supposed to do was I was supposed to go back to law school and start doing tax litigation, or should I look into research for women and their finances? So I decided to look at women and finances, and through the research that I've already done, because I was at a program at Walden University that talks about CAMS, knowledge area modules, which were mini dissertations. They're little mini micro dissertations that I had to do for my program. And once I started digging into it and researching, I found so many amazing things that I was just shocked to know and to hear and to read about when it came to women and finances. So I decided to figure out not the why, not the reason why they can't follow a women, or unable to follow, or they were not willing to follow a budget or a spreadsheet, because I can do a whole lot of spreadsheets for people. I can give you a budget. I can do all that. I've done all of that. I do that for myself. I do that for other women. I do that all the time. I do that for couples. I do that. But after a while, we stop following the so-called budget, the financial spending plan is what I call it, we stop following those things. And the reason why is important to me. What's the reason why? What is in your past that has you thinking you're not good enough to have money? You're not good enough to, you think you should spend it all now. Because I've had women tell me, I'm going to spend it all now, and they have no money saved up for retirement. They're working and so forth. And anything can happen to you before you even think about retiring. You can get into an accident. Your spouse could die. Or do you know how to handle the money? I've got girls who tell me, or women that come through and say, you know, I just want to be married, right? Because if I'm married, I don't have to worry about it. I could, you know, I don't have to work. And I'm like, yeah, you have to work for you. You know, you have to do it for you. You don't necessarily have to do it for someone else. You do it for you. So anyway, I am doing this this project, and I'm going to need a certain amount of money to reach the people that that I'm going to reach, and I'm hoping that you will go to my GoFundMe page, and that you will help me reach women from all over the country, all over the United States, all over everywhere, and bring those women into. So we want to at least, we want to compensate some of the lady. We want to compensate them for their time. It's not a lot of money. We want to compensate them a couple of dollars, you know, a gift card or something like that, because it is time consuming. We also want to be able to maybe even fly to where they are and observe them. And I want to be able to fly and observe them to where they are, and to continue this research on and on and on. Right now I'm in the middle of a research project with a colleague of mine, Dr. Wayne Curtis, and we're doing couples and money. And that's an experience in itself, to know some of the how couples view, and how these two people have come together and who have done things in their lives, in their financial lives, and the other one, they've done two separate kinds of things in their financial life, and now you bringing these two people together in a marriage, in a financial situation that one sometimes don't know what the other has done, and then the other don't ask what the other has done. So that's a situation. So I want to be able to get these young people, or get these women, to understand what's going on. So I am putting this video out, and I'm putting my heart out to you, and I'm asking you to help me reach these 100 women, 150 women that we need for this research project. So you can email me at Anita Financial Psychologist, or you can call me at 916-572-9033, and give these women an opportunity. And if you're one of those women who are looking to be part of the research, same thing, email me. Or if you know someone that should be part of the research, then yes, be aware, come on board. Let's see if you are, or if you meet the criteria for the research, because it does take a certain criteria to be part of the research program. We don't really turn anyone down, but we want to make sure that this program is right for you. Right? We want to make sure that this research program is right for you. So anyway, thank you for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you. If you'd like to, send me an email, like I said, AnitaFinancialPsychologist@gmail.com, and I want to thank you so much for listening.